Good morning to all. Very happy to be with you this morning, and I wish to start by wishing you all a very happy new year. We are just getting out of a very, very exceptional year with a tremendous shock for the world, but also signs of resilience. 2021 was the year of the pandemic and of the worst crisis the EBRD countries of operations have faced since the bank was created at the end of the Cold War. But looking back at 2020 and the banking sector across our Central and Southern Eastern European economies, I want to start by highlighting and praising its resilience. The region's banks are better capitalized, more liquid, and less reliant on volatile wholesale funding. Non-performing exposures remain broadly under control. The bank's loss absorption capacity has also been significantly strengthened thanks to the phasing in of the new recovery and resolution regime in the EU, and the EBRD has also played its role in this respect. An obvious benchmark to measure such resilience is to compare with the 2008 financial crisis, when the threat of massive deleveraging bringing the regional banking sector to its knees was really real. To help see off that threat, the EBRD was one of the key institutions behind the setting up of the Vienna initiatives. These initiatives continue to play a role in facilitating the dialogue between cross-border financial institutions, regulators, and international financial institutions, this is important to mitigate the impact of the crisis on emerging European economies. This is true even if we are today in a very different situation from the panic behind the scenes, and we encountered in 2008, and this despite the very exceptional nature and magnitude of the economic shock we have been and we are still facing. If I may say so, I think it's important to underline also that the response of international financial institutions to this crisis has also been very robust and very strong. And this fully applies, in my view, to the EBRD. Our operational results show once again the counter-cyclical nature of our activity. The preliminary figures we have for Central and Southeastern Europe show that the bank invested just over 4 billion euros in the region. And with its solidarity package, it streamlined its processes to provide finances to meet the short-term liquidity and working capital needs of existing clients. We also developed new approaches. One example of innovation is our new Guarantee for Growth mechanism, launched just before Christmas. Under that, we are providing Raiffeisen Bank Albania, for example, with a 100 million euros unfunded guarantee that will free up its risk-taking capacity and will allow the bank to lend to the real economy. This year's pandemic demonstrated also the vital role that trade plays in keeping the global economy going. And that's why we have stepped up our capacity for trade finance up to 3 billion euros for 2020 alone. We are also very committed to the development of capital market and make a sizable contribution to the delivery of the EU Capital Market Union plan, both as an investor but also in our policy priorities, with a view to develop the investor base, to develop the capital market infrastructure, and so forth. Turning to 2021, the new year will continue to test our agility to address our countries of operation needs. It will also address the banking sectors and the economy's capacity to operate. We earnestly hope that economies will begin to rebound and recover in 2021 and will reach the pre-crisis levels of output by the beginning of 2022. Our working assumption is that growth should be around between 3 and 4% in 2021 in the region, supported by the EU Exceptional Recovery and Resilience Plan and new resources that will start to be deployed in the region to build back better. But the crisis will have a legacy issue. Transport, tourism, hospitality, some supply chain will have taken a long-term hit. The lockdown has forced us to rethink our value and way of working. and recovery plans give us a rare opportunity to build back better. As consumers, businesses and whole economies will tilt to green, the EBRD responsibility is to support activity to encourage and to accelerate this transition. Our next 5 years' institutional priorities are fully consistent with many of the EU recovery priorities, such as the Green Deal, digital and just transition. And financial institutions are one of the main sectors impacted by new climate-related and environmental risk guidelines prepared at the EU level. They are also one of the main channels for deploying financial resources in support of green investments and building scale in this area. That's why we are actively supporting partner banks with green financial products, as well as encouraging them to prepare certified green bond frameworks. And that's why also we've invested in all bank green bonds issuance from the region. Yes, indeed, green capital market issuance are limited in size and number compared with those more established Western European markets. But we are looking forward to strong activity in this area in the future, and this will be one of our key priorities. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to build back better. We look forward to continuing to work with you all. Thank you very much for your attention.